In this video, we're going over pages 156 to 161 for Chapter 6. So Lesson 8 is all about losing pounds. Each extra pound in a person's body, it contains about 3,500 calories. One way to lose a pound is to exercise enough to burn 3,500 calories. So we're going to figure out how long does Adolfo have to run to burn up 1 extra pound. Use the information from the graph to help you. So because we are choosing to run in this particular scenario, that means that every hour we're burning 700 calories. So in order to figure out how many hours I have to run, we're going to take the 3,500 because that's how many calories are equivalent to 1 pound. And we're going to divide them by 700 calories per hour, which means we're going to have to run for 5 hours to burn that 1 pound running. Okay? So what you're going to do for these exercises is figure out the length of time that each exercise needs to be completed to lose the weight. So this time I'm going to go ahead and do example number 3. Okay, so in example 3, we have 2 pounds that we want to lose, and our exercise of choice is swimming. So 2 pounds is going to equal, 2 pounds is going to equal 7,000 calories that I need to burn because you're taking the 3,500 and you're multiplying it by 2. Swimming, using the chart, uses about 500 calories every hour. Okay, so swimming is 500 calories. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the amount of calories we want to burn divided by the number of calories that we burn by swimming. And that tells me that I have to swim for 14 hours to burn those 7,000 calories. Okay, so make sure you turn them into hours and minutes as it applies, and that's how you're going to complete these examples. Going on to the next page, another way for a person to lose pound is to consume 3,500 calories less than the body uses. Without the 3,500 calories, a person's body will burn off a pound of body fat for the energy he or she needs. So Mike wants to lose 6 pounds in 21 days. How many fewer calories should he consume each day? Okay, so first thing we want to do is figure out how many calories total do we need to eat less to lose the pounds. So we're going to multiply 3,500 times the number of pounds he wants to lose, which means 21,000 calories needs to be consumed less. Now we're going to split this up into 21 days because that's over the time that we want to lose the weight. So 21,000 pounds divided by 21 days means that we need to reduce the intake of 1,000 calories per day for 21 days to lose 6 pounds. So let's go ahead and complete number 2 together. So let's say we want to lose 4 pounds in 10 days. Okay, that seems like a lot. So for 4 pounds, we're going to multiply 4 times 3,500 because that's how many calories are in each pound. That means that we're going to have to decrease 14,000 calories total. And then we're going to divide by the number of days. In this case, we're going to divide by 10 because there's 10 days, which means we're going to reduce our calorie consumption by 1,400 each day. Okay, and that's how you're going to complete those examples. So multiply the number of pounds that they are trying to lose by 3,500 and then divide by the number of days that are involved. For the months, please assume that each month has 30 days in a month. Okay, I know that some have more or less, but we're just going to go with 30 to make it easier. Lesson 9. So we have recipes are designed to provide a given number of servings. For example, this recipe for chicken casserole has a yield of 6 servings. So yield is the number of servings provided by a given recipe. You need to make a larger or smaller casserole. You're going to have to use fractions to figure out how to either reduce or increase each ingredient. Okay? As a reminder, here's how you multiply fractions together. You're going to have 2 fractions, and here is how you're going to get the new answer. So 2 times 3, for example, will give me 6. And then 5 times 7 would give me 35. Your calculator is able to reduce this for you again. So you're going to use the ABC button. And you would just enter 6, A, B, C, 35, and it would reduce it for you if that's what we're asking you to do, okay? Going on to the other side so we can figure out how we're going to do this. So to serve fewer than 6 people, you will need to decrease the quantity of each ingredient. So we're talking about the recipe on the previous page. Compute the quantity of each ingredient in chicken casserole needed to serve 4 people. So the recipe is made for 6 people, but we only want to feed 4. So we want to make 2/3 of everything that the recipe calls for. So originally the recipe made for 6 people includes 6 chicken breasts. So to figure out how many chicken breasts I need, I'm going to multiply the 6. Remember, you can always put it over 1 times 2/3. So essentially, you're going to multiply everything, the 2 packs of broccoli times 2/3, the 10.5 ounces of soup times 2/3. Okay, everything in this recipe is going to be multiplied by 2/3 because you only want 4 out of the 6 servings. Okay. Now, I want you to do this for exercise A. You're going to do the same thing, but you're just going to do number 1 because it's kind of a lot of work. So, in this case, your desired servings are 2 out of 6. So, you're going to go through and multiply everything. So, the 6 chicken breasts times 2 6. And then you're going to go 2 packs of broccoli times 2 6. And then whatever else. Okay, so all of these you're going to multiply by 2 6 to get your answer. So go ahead and only do the first example for that. The next page here walks you through if you plan to prepare more servings than the original recipe. So instead of having 6, let's say that you want to feed 9 people. Okay, then you would just create a different fraction. You're just going to do 9 over 6 instead, so 3 over 2. So we would take, the 6 chicken breasts, the 2 packs of broccoli, etc., and we would multiply it by the reduced fraction or by the original fraction. It doesn't matter. So 6 over 1 times 3/2 gives you 18 over 2, which equals 9 chicken breasts. So now, if I'm trying to feed 9 people instead of 6, I don't need 6 chicken breasts. I need 9 total. So this kind of walks you through how you would do that. If you wanted to feed more people than the recipe calls for, you would just change your fraction to be higher in the numerator than in the denominator. And with that, here's how you're going to finish up today's notes. You're going to find the amount of ingredients needed to make chicken casserole for each of these different servings. So these are the number of servings. Okay, so they're going to change every time. I think it would be helpful for you to write down the original amount, right? So if we went back to the previous table of the original recipe is for 6 servings using 6 chicken breasts, 2 packs of broccoli, 10.5, I'm going to write it as a decimal, ounces of soup, half a cup of non-fat yogurt, half a cup of skim milk, and then 2 teaspoons for that one. Okay, so the way that you are going to do this is by multiplying, just like we did in the previous page. So essentially you're doing this, but for the number of servings. Okay, so when we did 9 servings, this fraction was 9 over 6 because that's how many we were talking about. So then in this case, the 12 is out of 6. So we're going to multiply 12 out of 6 times the 6 chicken breasts. That gives me 12 chicken breasts for a 12 serving recipe. Then I'm going to take 12 over 6 times the 2, okay, and that's going to give me 4. 12 over 6 times 10.5, that's going to give me 21. Go back to it every time. 12 over 6 times half gives me 1. 12 over 6 times half gives me 1. 12 over 6 times 2 gives me 4. So you're going to create a new fraction. The next one's going to be 18 over 6 times 6 times 2 times, and then you're just going to put the answers here. So the next row should be 18, 6, and so on from there. Okay, please make sure that the entire table is complete to receive full points. And that is the end of this video up to page 161.